Hey, he did it. Oh, wait, did it work? Yes, it worked. Hey, it works. Your mic works?
Yes, sir.
Bang, bang. Here we are. Here we are. Perfect intro. Welcome to the Bodycast. It's the official podcast. Wait, sorry, let me do it again. Welcome to the Bodycast. Bang, bang.
Quality card.
There we go. It's the official podcast for the subreddit r/rap battles. I'm Copasetic, and with me on the other side of the world is
It's Mackenzie, ITFT, Glasgow, fucking city. You know what it is, man. Let's go.
Glasgow. What's up? Mackenzie, are you on Twitter?
Yeah, at Mackenzie Pro
Fuck.
on Twitter, but I don't really post on Twitter a lot. I hate Twitter.
Oh,
Twitter is,
okay.
you
Yeah, no,
know,
I agree with that.
yeah, man. I don't really interact with Twitter a lot, but I do. I basically just go on Twitter to promote whatever I've got coming up. It's pretty
Okay.
much what I do.
I'm gonna tag you in the thing, like I should have in the original tweet. But yeah, Twitter's an absolute cesspool. It's a lot of fun. Um,
Yeah,
our
man.
rap
Elon's
battles.
going to sort it out, though. Elon's going to make it dope again. Elon's going to make Twitter dope again. We're going to be able to just like see crazy people again on Twitter. It's going to
That'd
be
be cool.
not that and crazy people from all over the spectrum, not just one type of crazy person, which is pretty much all you get on Twitter.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's all types of yeah, for sure. There's a lot of crazy out there, and I very much enjoy to watch. Um,
Yeah.
so r/rap battles is of course the largest online forum for the international culture of battle rap. You can find us on Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, and the official Discord server in the links below. It's the only place for fans to go for battle rap news from around the globe. And yeah, I just have to say, shouts to everybody watching, tuning in. Whether you're listening on some cool podcast thing that is in another country, or you're watching on YouTube here in the comfort of your own home, we appreciate it. You know that you guys are the best. Yeah, hey, Frosty's in the house. Speaking of the
Shout out
best,
Frost, man. Shout out
this
to
is the
Frost.
thing, right? Like for this show, only the highest quality people, like highest quality guests, highest quality hosts, highest quality fans, highest quality commenters. Everything is at a high level. Everything operates up here. And that's just what people can come to expect from the Bodycast. Please like and subscribe, because that's what all the cool people are doing. And then, yeah, I mean, the only way to really take that up to that next level, to really embrace what's happening right now, this moment, is to join us for the community cheers. So what you want to do is you grab your grass fed, your let's say your water, your spirits, your wines, your beers, your what are you drinking there?
Okay, so I'm a big woman now, so I drink pure Piranha, which is like a White Claw knockoff. Um,
Oh,
'Cause
wow.
yeah, man, I'm trying to lose weight, so
Good for
this is
you.
pretty much what I'm drinking nowadays. But it's nice actually. This is the red berry flavor, which is pretty good. The grapefruit one is my favorite. I do have a little Mike's hard seltzer down there as well. So yeah, but community
Nice.
cheers. Is this what
Community
we do?
cheers. And then
We
we
cheers
then
up.
cheers. Yeah, cheers yourself. Yeah,
Cheers it
cheers.
up. There we
Cheers.
go.
Amazing. I feel 1,000 times better. Feel really locked
Yeah,
in. And
I need to pour my other drink. Hang on a second.
yeah, you gotta make sure that you
Make sure I'm refreshed,
hydrated
hydrated.
for this show. Oh
Yes,
boy.
sir.
Yeah, so man, I mean, crazy. The world of battle rap is so tumultuous, and it feels like um, things are exploding and collapsing and exploding and collapsing in this constant life force type breathing situation of battle rap. There's an ebb and there's a flow, and it really, I mean, I want to say that it is really exemplified by what's happened in um, the region. I don't want to offend anybody. What do you call the region where you're at? Is it the British Isles, or is that offensive? It's the
No, none of that's offensive. Like, but yeah, British Isles, the United Kingdom, like whatever you want to call it. Like Scotland does not have independence at this current moment,
right,
and that's a big topic that I don't want to get into.
right. Very fun. Very
But
fun.
yeah, yeah,
But
the
the
British.
Irish would prefer us say UK and Ireland.
Yeah, UK and Ireland. Yeah, because the north of Ireland is still technically in the UK.
Right.
and the south of Ireland is an independent country that's doing its own thing.
Super
So yeah,
confusing.
it gets complicated. I can understand how. You're a Canadian, so you're a little bit more versed in geography than the average American. When I went
Slightly.
to America, people were asking me like, "Yo, so where you live? Is that near France?" And I'm like, "No,
Yes.
not really, mate. You probably have to take a plane for a couple hours. You know what I mean? Like,
The
you
Scottish and the
know,
French, it's just like it's like this though. I mean, come on.
War
It's
of the
good though.
Roses, motherfucker. We teamed up against England a long time ago. But yeah,
So okay, so let's do an intro because I mean I was gonna get into the whole like craziness of battle rap in that area, but you know for people who don't know, I mean we forgive you for not knowing, but like really, uh, you are a like a top tier battler in my opinion. You
thank
running
you.
events, you've traveled, you know all of you've been in lots of different leagues. You were on King of the Dot versus Terminal, the homie, friend of the show, friend of the
Good guy, man.
show.
Shout out Terminal. Shout out
Yeah,
Terminal.
shouts out to Term, and you, as well as running Iron Bars. I don't know how long you've been running it. Do you mind giving people sort of like a little bit of background on the Scottish league, the main Scottish league out there, which is Iron Bars?
Yeah, man. So I've been running Iron Bar since 2016, and we do like little bits here and there. It's not like we're not on the level of like a Premier Battles who do events all of the time, like all the time. 2, 3 events a month. We don't do anything like that. We'll do like a few events a year. And it was me and my boy Scott Early who started it, and then he kind of dropped away from it. He's got a family and that he needs to fucking focus his attention on that. So, yeah, man, basically, it was just me for most of the time. We did a lot of co-promotion with King of the Ronalds. I used to be champion of King of the Ronalds back in the day when that league was still running, and that was really cool because that's the reason why I got to go out to the United States in the first place was through King of the Ronalds and their affiliation with No Coast. So yeah, I mean, like, battle rap in Scotland is interesting. There was a league back in the day called Badmouth. It was run by an MC called Gasp, and that was the first. That came about around the time when Don't Flop was really popping off. So they were able to get a lot of rappers from Don't Flop at the time to come up and battle. But that's the league that Soul really cut his teeth on. Like
Oh,
so,
really?
yeah, man. Like before Soul was, before he travelled out to Canada and before he done all that shit, I saw him battle a lot there, and it was really interesting because his style was like underappreciated then. People weren't really attuned to what he was doing. He was really advanced for the time, and especially in Scotland because at the time battle rap then there was like a big freestyle scene in Glasgow, like a big freestyle scene that I was part of, but I never did the written shit. But like, it was all like very like, you know, like like early grind time shit where it's more jokes, not really very clever bars. It's more like insults and
Yeah,
jokes,
yeah,
and just very like a lot of talking about people's mums, a lot of talking about how people might be gay,
right,
that type of
right.
shit
You're creating
from back
moments.
then.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
but it's
stuff that in a lot of ways hasn't aged very well, but
yeah,
it was all the time. But Soul, I mean, when Soul would come around, he'd be doing like Shakespeare references in his bars and shit, and people just were not get. The other rappers loved it. He was
right.
winning battles on judge because all the battles back then also were judged. That's a big thing that's changed now. There's not a lot of judge battles anymore, but like back then, like he was winning battles on the judging because there was other rappers who were judging it, but the crowds were just like not fucking with them at all. And I don't think anyone could really have predicted how big he would have got with it, but like yeah, man. So like that fell away for a while. There was like a couple other people who tried to put battle leagues together in Scotland and did a few events, and then nothing really happened with it long term. And yeah, so I just kind of took the reins with it. Started with iron bars and used the connections that I'd built through traveling all over the UK with King of the Ronalds and meeting people through the likes of Mickey Worthless and Bowski and Hulk who had them sort of connections. So yeah, it's just been a thing that's organically evolved. And now we're working with Premier Battles for this event coming up on July the 30th, which is the biggest battle event in Scotland that's happened in years. Like, I put this on the tier of like the last big battle event that happened in Scotland is when Don't Flop came to Edinburgh in like 2017. That was the event that had Soul versus Real Deal and Respect BA versus Tony
BA.
D on it.
Wow.
So
Amazing.
so this is the this event right now is like the first big battle event where people are actually traveling all over to come to Scotland. Because the thing is about the UK, man, like London is the cultural hub of kind of everything. Manchester is is a good spot where Premier Battles is based because it's kind of in the middle. It
Right.
takes about 4 hours to travel from Glasgow to Manchester. It takes about 4 hours to travel from London to Manchester. So it's kind of
Right.
like in the middle.
Right.
But yeah, if there's no reason for people to travel to Scotland and they just don't come here, that's the thing. We've
True.
got a very it's a very like, you know, I say the whole country's got like a small town mentality. It really does. Like, but yeah, man, like what we've been able to put together for this event with Premier Battles, the first time Premier Battles has been to Scotland. I'm very proud of the card, man. I think it's going to be fucking dope.
Yeah. Really, really solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's interesting to think about. I mean, you know, the league before Iron Bars, what was it called? You said?
There was a couple of Badmouth Battles was the main league in Scotland before Iron Bars. There was also a league called Breaking the Barrier. Shout out to Kane, man, and get his Crown Sound events that run that. But yeah, they did a couple of little tournaments and that. Things that I won one of their tournaments one time. Um, and yeah, but it was all very local. Crown Sound never really brought any English battlers to come and actually battle, you know,
Right.
or anyone from outside. That's what I wanted to do with Iron Bars, is try to introduce as many people from outside of Scotland into it, and also
Right.
give the shine to our local talent here, because
Right.
it's different, man. Like, this is what you got to understand. Like, the accent barrier that people told me that I'd like come up against when I was rapping in the United States, it's actually worse between Scotland and England. It's
Right.
weird to think, but like, English people are not trying to hear Scottish people rap in a Scottish accent like a lot of the time. Hulk said like Mickey Worthless said to me one time, it's like, you're a really talented rapper and please don't get offended, but you know what? It's a shame you're Scottish, bro. Like, he said
Wow.
that to me, like, dead ass, like, yeah, like
Terrible.
and it just is that, you know. I mean, things are changing a little bit now. Um, uh, I mean, back in the day, man, it was like any rap that wasn't from London just wasn't getting accepted. Like, Manchester rappers like Shotty Horror, they had to fight to be accepted.
Right. Right. Right.
Um, but now it's kind of widening out a little bit, and I think battle rap has its place in that, as underrated in having its place in that,
For sure.
because, you know, it's difficult if you're trying to. What I found when I was in the States, if I was rapping a cappella, people could understand me or knew what I was talking about. If I started rapping over a beat, the combination of the beat and the accent,
Yeah, it's too
and
much.
also the slang that I use, the lingo that I use when I rap,
You're gone.
you know, it just short circuit, you know.
And that makes sense because you're when you're battling, the whole purpose is to uh, create an idea and share it with as many people as possible. So your mindset is oriented towards expressing yourself clearly and as cleanly and these ideas as cleanly as possible. I think that's why somebody like Soul has so much is so effective because he's really concise and really clear. Uh,
Yeah,
but I mean, I know Aker really well. I'm a big Aker fan,
Acre's
and
dope.
yeah, his best battles are when he's going a lot slower. Like versus me, unfortunately, fucking kicked my ass. Guy, could have been a little nervous and sped his shit up, but he was really slow. I told him, before
He
the
had
battle.
one of my favorite Acre bars ever was against you, where he's like, those features don't get picked up like Asian men and women going through facial
Facial
recognition.
recognition. Woof, was
Holy shit.
crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Acres
he's an
Cold.
insane
I
writer.
love Acres.
But the way his material was is like he was just going through it so fast. And I'm like, dude, you have to slow down.
Yeah.
And because he was like half speed, he was really forcing himself to go slowly. Everybody got it, and everybody was agreed that he kicked my ass. So I think there's that element to it as well. But I hear what you're saying. The Scottish accent is definitely, it is very different for sure.
Yeah, man, and like I've gotten heat for that before for like rapping like fast or
Mhm.
what people think is rapping fast, which really isn't.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I don't like I watched the last Premier Battles title match with Bizzle Bond versus Koji, and I'm watching it and like Bizzle spits in a very similar time signature that I spit in. I think just it's again because maybe his vocal clarity is a little more easy to understand. It's just some people will pick up on that easier than others,
sure.
and especially when it's like I don't know, man. It's hard to explain. Like
Totally.
you,
I
you,
think the Irish,
you
and I mean not the like. I think the like deep Irish, the people who are like
yeah,
out uh,
yeah,
in the South, they have this
yeah.
really big one, and I'm going. It sounds really nice. I have no idea what you're saying. I watched what is it, Ty the Poet, and I'm just like, he looks like he's saying some
Idaho is
shit.
pretty dope.
He's dope. I mean, from the 20% of the bars that I caught, it's dope shit. But
But you know what's weird, right? So like obviously you're Canadian, so you've like lived your whole life with the Americans being like, what is this pussy ass barely American shit? Right? You've lived your whole life with that, right? But it's closer culturally a little bit. Whereas like me being a battle rap fan, I've had to learn so much slang and so
mm,
much lingo that I wouldn't have otherwise learned if it wasn't for battle rap. And the reason is I've had to try and understand battles. And there's still things like being in the States and shit, like listening to people rap live. There's little bits of slang and references, especially like American sports references, which I don't follow,
totally.
so I
No.
don't understand. But that's all the way through. So I'm listening to shit that I'm just a lot of it's going over my head.
Yeah.
So I can understand where there'd be a disconnect. But I mean, ultimately, like living in the UK, like all of our culture is American. Like growing up on television as a kid, all of the cartoons I watched, they were all American. Like all of the sitcoms we watch are American. Most of the music we listen to is
Mm,
American music. Up until very recently, UK music was like not big in the UK at all. Like
right.
grime and UK drill really broke down the fucking doors for that in terms of being like super mainstream. UK garage before that a little bit, but like
Mhm.
yeah, man, like it's we're kind of more accustomed to having being able to understand that cultural influence, that kind of lingo and whatnot. Whereas people in North America, they get some people. Some people I was over there like, oh yeah, I love watching the BBC and I love all those accents. They're amazing. Like, but
So
which
good.
is, and I didn't feel patronized at all by that. But but
Devastating.
but yeah, man, like I think people here are just more accustomed to North American culture than people in America are accustomed to UK culture. So if they could watch some UK battle rap, especially, is like going to be very difficult for people to process. So that's why I try to generalize my stuff as much as possible,
Right.
and
Yeah.
kind of if I'm writing for an American audience, I'm going to say much different shit than if I was writing for a London audience, and I'm going to say much different shit writing for a London audience than if I'm writing for a Scottish audience, because
Yeah.
that's the thing. You're kind of writing for the crowd that's in the room
Totally.
a lot of the time. You have to consider what's going up on YouTube it should have longevity, so you need to consider
Yeah.
that too. But
Yeah.
trying to find the balance between those things, and I think that's actually why people who come from here, Scotland has like the highest percentage of dope rappers per capita, like anywhere, because like we're such a tiny wee country. There's like 5 million people who live here in the whole country, but I mean, when you think about people like Soul, Respect BA, Loki, Gasp, like they're some of the dopest rappers ever, and they've got people from all over the world listening to them. Like, you know, it's what it is.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Buljin, who else?
Golden's fucking dope. He needs to fucking start rapping again, man. Like the last, oh man, he's difficult to get to do stuff, man. He needs to. I've been telling him for time, man. He needs to release mixtapes, get
Yeah,
on as many battles as he can, just shell it down because he'd be a star here. Honestly,
yeah.
he's his persona and his flow and his beats also because he makes all his own beats.
Oh
His
shit,
beats are
really?
fire. Too.
Damn.
Yeah, man. His beats are fire, man. Yeah.
He's a young guy though, right? As well.
Yeah. He's he's mid late 20s now, I think.
There you go. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Definitely a lot of talent. I think that's for sure. What when we're talking about Premier Battles and this collaboration, it's a collaboration. Like, how do you see this affecting this partnership? Is it just one event, or is it like something you want to keep going? And how do you see it affecting sort of the future of how you shape the culture in Scotland?
So we've talked about doing this like year on year. And I think that'd be a cool thing to do. I don't
Did
know
someone
for
set up a Premier Battles team? Were you guys ever going to set up like
like a Scotland branch.
a Glasgow
Yeah,
Dragons or something?
I don't know about that. That would have to be a conversation that happened in the future. But like, yeah, man, like, you know, we were talking about doing it year on year, but let's just see how the first event goes. The rap community in Scotland right now is quite interesting because when I started, there was hardly anyone doing it, but the people who were into it, and it was all very hip hop influenced. Now you've got the influence of drill from London, which is basically given like a lot of people this template to use for rapping and for how to get clout and for how to like be taken seriously as like sort of motherfucker who is about some shit. But there's basically like the amount of people who were doing it when I started compared to now is like 20 times the amount. You know, there's people coming out of the woodwork from nowhere. So I'm pretty much the only person, you know, putting together events in Scotland that really represents the battle culture. And I like to keep representing that. One, because I'm an old head and I believe in a thing that we used to have called lyricism. Some rappers might have heard of it. But also because I like to kind of bridge that gap between the old and the new. You know, because when I came up, man, like my first experience of being on an open mic, I was spitting my bars on an open mic, and Loki came up and took the mic off me and just started ripping me, just started like just bodying me, and, like out of nowhere because of nothing, just because he could do it. And then I had to like spit some bars back. I was trying to do my thing, and then he bodied me again. Like, but that kind of trial by fire thing, I think, is getting lost. I think a lot of rappers now are like scared to to look stupid or scared to lose or whatever, and people can like get their little rep online and get the little followers and that. But you know, I've got more of an old school mentality, man. Like I think if you're a rapper, you should be able to prove yourself. You know, when you need to have that skill sharpened. You know, so
Yeah,
yeah,
this
that's what I like to keep going. Like I'm very open to working with all the new artists. I think that's the future. But I like to keep a little bit of that old school mentality with me still.
Yeah, that's important. I think that, you know, when you're talking about the evolution of battle rap and how it goes from that freestyle era of mom jokes and whatever, the stuff that is maybe lower hanging fruit, but you also have this vibe of like real skill, real sharpness, mental sharpness, and like coming from rap. Like back then, if you wanted to
Yeah,
battle, it's because you were already a rapper and this was some battle shit. And nowadays, it's more like, oh, I'm just about a battle rapper. I only have watched battle rap, and these are the matches that are curated for me. And I'm going in, and it's almost like sterilized to a degree. So it's
Yeah.
that. Is that what you're talking about? That sort of balance?
Yeah. I think I think the balance that needs to be reached really is in people being able to put aside what their supposed like reputations are and that, and just get up and do it. Like there's no shame in taking an L when you did your best type shit. A lot of rappers now are like taking an L in public would be like the worst thing that they could possibly conceive of. But I think that kind of thing, the kind of online space, just feeds into rappers' egos too much. Don't get me wrong, like I'm not just talking about that. Like people who battle and don't do other rap shit, like that is what it is as well. If you're only into battle rap, that's cool. But for me, like I take it seriously as a craft all round. Like I think if you're going to be considered as a rap, like you mentioned Acre, like Acre's a fantastic battle rapper, but he's not a rapper. He's not a rapper like I'm a rapper.
Sure.
Like he does battle shit and that's what he likes and that's what he does. He's fucking good at it. He's brilliant at it. But
Right.
like it's different being somebody who tries to get it all round. Like you need to have a little bit of a freestyle game. You need to have, bro, it's like mixed martial arts. You need to have some
Right.
striking, you need to have some groundwork, you need to have some grappling, you need to know what you're doing in a clinch.
Sure.
It's the same thing where you're a rapper, you need to have a little bit of freestyle, you need to be able to spit a cappella. Because even fuck battling, just like doing like an a cappella spoken word set, that's a different thing than doing a set when you've got beats behind you. You need to control, you need to know how to like engage a room with just your voice, that type shit. You need to know how to rock a crowd when you've got beats, and you need to know also how to be a recording artist and know how to lay down a vocal track that sounds good, and can be considered with it, do ad libs and all that type shit.
Sure.
I think
Yeah.
that's how somebody becomes like a well-rounded rap. That's how you can say that you're a rapper. And there's a lot of people out here who rap, but I mean they're not well-rounded like that. So
Sure.
yeah, man.
So how do you bring that to this undisclosed 6 event? This is when you're talking about the lineup here. Looking at the card, I see some older names that I recognize, but can you sort of break it down for us a bit? Like,
Yeah, man. So when we started putting this together, it was me and Bloodstroll mostly. Like Briggsy basically let us basically said, right, you take the reins. So the first battle I suggested straight out the gate was Matter versus Slester. Slester Academy 2020 winner from Shetland originally, lives in Edinburgh now. And Matter, fucking don't need to say no
Matter.
more about Matter, legend, right?
For real.
Um,
Yeah.
and he's actually battled more Scottish heads than like anyone. Like he battled Soul twice, got bodied, battled me, got done off of me, and then who else did he battle? He battled shit. There was another Scottish head they battled. I can't even remember. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, I thought that would just be a really good clash because they're both very funny. They've got kind of similar styles. It's like
Sure.
comedy, but with bars mixed in, like good wordplay and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Matter's sort of like the final evolution for Lester.
yeah, definitely. So that was the first thing I suggested, and within the hour that got locked in. So I was like, right, cool, this card's happening. So
That's
then,
great.
after that, it was a little bit of you know uncertainty, like getting things locked in was kind of difficult. I'll put this out right now. Like originally, I was supposed to battle Georgie Roots for the headliner.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
And he pulled out because of another battle that he's got. I'm not going to say what it is because it's not been announced yet, but it was very, very close to the time, so he only wanted to do one at a time. And then it was potentially for me and the headliner was potentially going to be unanimous, but that didn't get put together. But I'm very, very glad that it's Raptor now because that's a battle that is is gonna fucking go off. Like, see what I was talking about earlier, that all-roundedness of being an MC. Raptor is that.
Yeah, he's got it all.
Raptor is very much that. He's dope on tracks. He's dope on beat. He can battle on beat. He can battle a cappella.
Yeah.
He can freestyle.
Yeah,
So
even within battling, his technical ability and his ability to switch into comedy is like, yeah, it's very, very,
yeah,
very
he
high
can
level.
do either. The battle that I'm actually most excited for, just as a fan, is Jinx versus Boski. For those who listen who don't know who Jinx is a legendary battle MC from Scotland. He's been battling for like 20 years, like close to it, on and off. And he's
Amazing.
just been like
How did you wrangle that? How did you get that to happen?
he's my boy, man. Like, he battled Canel at the last Iron Bars event back in
Right.
December. He's battled for Iron Bars before, and he battled a lot on Badmouth, the Gasps League.
Okay.
He battled a lot then. His battles with Loki were some of the most hotly contested battles in Scottish battle rap history, because they genuinely didn't like each other at the time, and it was like they drew crowds back then.
Amazing.
Because there was two very because not only was it two very good rappers who didn't like each other, who were at the peak of their careers at the time, but Loki's since gone on to do incredible things, but it was a Glasgow versus Edinburgh thing at the time too.
Right.
So that's like Glasgow's on the west coast, Edinburgh's on the east coast. At that time, there was like a lot of beef between crews in Glasgow and Edinburgh. Like, so like all of that got brought into it as well.
Amazing.
So Jinx really fucking made a name for himself by being because both of the battles happened in Glasgow. So like Jinx really made a name for himself by being a guy from Edinburgh coming into Glasgow, and just like crowds were booing him immediately. So he got on the stage, he would just spit his bars all the way through and win people over, you know.
Yeah.
So Jinx is a very seasoned battler. Boski is, of course, a legend, one of the funniest motherfuckers from the UK battle scene, like, period. So I really like that one. I would need to pull up the card to see who else we booked. We got Koji versus Visual as well, which was the Premier Battles booking. But it makes sense because Koji battled on the very first Iron Bars card in Glasgow against me in 2016. So it's a nice little yes. So it's a nice little return. Nice little return for Koji to Glasgow. Visual is incredible. I fuck with Visual. Yeah. He's really, really good. So that's gonna be nice. And then we've got a little dope undercard of some tryouts from the Premier team. We've got Scomo coming over from Ireland. He's gonna battle Melody. That's gonna be a really good battle. Yeah. And then MC Lean versus Crones, who that's kind of like the Iron Bars undercard headliner match, which is both of these guys have been putting in work for like quite some time, doing brilliant battles out here in Scotland, and that'll be a buzz, man. So
yeah, no, I like that one too. I'm a big MC Lean fan. I think he's dope.
MC Lean's really good, man. MC Lean's really good.
Really talented. And so then the other two are sort of tryouts, or
yeah, got a couple of tryouts. Got what is it? Dale CA
versus Macmatic.
Macmatic's had a few battles before. He's won like one and he's lost a couple more. And then KJK, who's brand new, going against Will Powers, who's had like one battle before. So pretty much a couple of tryouts. And I tried to get everybody that I could on this card who I wanted to get on. But I thought this would also be a good opportunity to put some brand new people on, because it's always good to explore new talent. And throwing new talent in at the deep end like that, on a card like that, I think only motivates people to really try and attain their best, you know.
Yeah.
That's something that Premier. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not to mention, seeing, you and Raptor, and seeing, Matter and Koji, but seeing the guys sort of who are operating at a very high level execute, it's just very inspiring. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think that's something that Premier has done very well with the academy. Is always looked to get new talent in, but also people who've been around for a while who might have dropped out of it for a bit, who need to get the rep back up a bit. I mean, that's what I'm with Bizzle, right? Bizzle was battling like way before like the Wrapped in Wire and all that shit. Like,
Right.
but he needed to get his rep back up. That's happening this year with Bard. I mean, I'm pretty much going to call it that Bard's going to win the Academy, right? I mean, that's kind of
He's
has to.
he's he's looking
If he
pretty
doesn't, I'm going to
solid.
slag him rotten, man.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. They, I agree. The development programs that they are instituting, it feels like, especially this year, have really accelerated the development and
Yep.
interesting prospects. So yeah, I mean, having that, do you see that establishing itself more regularly in Scotland, or you said this is just you're gonna do the one event and see how it goes, or?
Yeah, man, it's. I think it's got to be spread out. Like at the end of the day, battle rap here is very, very niche.
Mm,
Rap here is still niche,
mm,
regardless of all the good work that many people have done.
sure.
And trying to get, and it's now getting taken seriously by funding bodies and the cultural establishment here, but it's still in that niche pocket. So it's really important not to try and spread things too thin. I think that's what happens in smaller scenes where everybody wants to do something. Things end up, it's the same people all the time, and then it ends up getting spread too thin, and the fan base that would have made up a good crowd gets spread over 5 events rather than being one event.
Right,
So
right.
there's
Watershed.
no sense in trying to oversaturate it.
Right.
So it's just about timing it, getting the best events together that we can, even if that only means doing 1 or 2 events a year. I'd rather that than watering the product down.
Right. 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 Cool. Yeah. Build interest one brick at a time. The
So,
match, Raptor was supposed to battle Nugget, I think, this weekend, yesterday,
yep,
and that didn't go down. And so you got to imagine that he's extra fired up. I mean, I don't think
here's my extra stuff.
his 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 last match was his last match canceled as well, and it was his last match was just, yeah, it was him and Bobby were going to go up against somebody in the 2-on-2
Oh
round.
yeah. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, in the 2-on-2 tournament, yeah,
So this would be his first like solo battle in a while.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes, sir.
very cool. All right, so
I'm
do you have
looking
any?
forward to it.
Yeah, right. Are you
Bring
sort
it,
of like
motherfucker! Like honestly, like that shit honestly doesn't phase me, man. Like he's gonna bring his fucking A game. I'm here for it. You know what I mean? Like uh,
are you in the space
yeah,
where
man. Like,
you want a fucking competitive match where you really want to like, get the W and that's important, or is it sort of like he's going to come out here and if we both put on, boom, we did
At
our
this point,
jobs.
man, like I just want to put on the best battle that I can. It's not even about if there's no judges, then there is no W. You know what I mean? Like I just want to have like these classic kind of moments, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen here, man. Like I've been getting back into the writing process and coming up with angles and shit, and yeah, at the end of the day, like he's in my backyard now. He's in my home
Yeah,
turf.
yeah,
He's going to come with it. I'm obviously going to have the little home field advantage of the crowd being behind me and that, but that will just add to the vibe of it. Um, yeah, whatever it is going to be crazy. Whatever it is going to be crazy.
yeah.
But I
Super
tell I
stoked.
tell you this right now, this is not going to be like a one-sided battle. It's going to be a fucking war.
For real.
Uh, it's going to be. I can promise everybody watching that, cop the pay-per-view when it comes out, because this shit is going to be a fucking war.
Let's go. So yeah, so then what else is on the horizon for like Scottish battle rap? You sort of like you've been keeping it afloat, and now that COVID's somewhat done, and we're able to throw events now, like Slester's making noise. Akers, obviously he's retired, he's not battling anymore, but there
Yeah.
are.
He'll come back. He'll come back for
Is that what
some.
it is? Is it mostly trying to get guys out of retirement, or do you see
You,
like new faces showing up that you have high hopes for, or?
Well, I'll put it this way, and I don't mean to. This isn't me talking down on anybody. There's a lot of people who are very talented up here, but for whatever reason, they don't want to get super involved in building up what we've got here, you know.
Mm.
And that's fine. I get it. It's a lot of work to do this. If you've got a full-time job, you've got a family, it's difficult to dedicate the amount of time that you really need to dedicate to battle rap to do it well, because it takes a lot of time to dedicate to do it well. So I totally get that. So there are some very talented people, and I'm not singling out anyone or naming any names. There are very talented people up here who they're just not in. They're just not in at the moment, and that's cool. So like right now, that's why I booked like tryouts for this next event, and some people who are maybe not as well established. I just want to see who's coming up next, and whoever's coming up next, who's going to be able to put in the time and the dedication. I think that's the next thing that I'm looking for, because I'm not gonna be doing this forever.
Right.
I'm not going to be organising events forever. You know, eventually I'm going to want to pass the torch on. When I pass the torch on, I want to know that it's people who want to take the battle culture as part of the rap culture here.
Right.
You know, it's really cool to see a lot of the younger guys come out, because what's been so cool about doing Iron Bars is that every time I do an event, there'll be people who show up who've never heard battle rap before, like ever. Like new to it, brand new to it. Like they don't understand. They don't understand. Fucking slow it down. They don't know what that is. They don't know what look at me, what I'm killing you. They don't. Look, I'm trying to think other shit.
Right.
Like
Take your
you
defeat
know,
bars and they go, oh my
they,
God,
no
defeat
one
and
has
defeat.
ever given. No one has ever given them the large picture, right? So, um, so yeah, and that's really cool. Like that makes me. That's the best compliment I can get. Is like people who've never seen battle rap before have come to one of my shows and have seen it for the first time in person for themselves, and that's always happened. So yeah, man. Like however many more shows that I've got me, I'm just looking now for who's gonna take it on next and who's gonna run with it. And like a lot of the people that I've seen come up recently, like Crohn's, shout out to him, Melody, MC Lean, of course. There's a bunch of other people like Mathematic's hungry for it too, even though he's had like one win and a couple of losses, he's still hungry for it. Like there's a lot of people coming up now who are definitely like next up. So when I eventually hang it up, I know that it's going to be left in good hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Super important. Yeah, that's tough. That's, I think, that underappreciated the amount of work that goes into um, organizing and managing events, because it's not a logistical problem. A lot of the time, um, it's uh, a community management. It's community grow. It's like
Yeah,
you're literally there for people and helping create an environment for young artists to feel safe and develop their talent. And it's just it's
yeah,
it
man. And that's the thing. Like I came up. Um, the reason that I got close with a lot of people working in the music scene in Glasgow was Loki did a community project called Volition, and it was exactly that. Like it was an actual funded community project where he used hip hop to basically get a lot of young people from a local community together and involved in building something that was progressive for themselves. That was they could give ourselves goals and shit. And yeah, like it is actually a community thing. Like it's and that's what hip hop has been from the start. When you really think about it, it's been this like community oriented
totally.
thing that people can. It's a move. What was it? The KRS once said. It's uh like hip hop. The hop is a movement. You can't just sit there. You got to get up and do it. Like whatever he said. It's like it's that type of shit. Like sure.
Yeah, no, I think that's the primary responsibility, that, and people don't they don't understand. They don't, until they see behind the curtain themselves. It's a lot of these events, they just appear out of nowhere, and these battlers they just appear out of nowhere. And it's like, no, this is a long time in the making. This is building and forging relationships, and this is, taking care of our own, taking care of our people. So yeah, so
100%.
it's dope. It's
And
dope to
that goes
see.
all the way down, man, because like every like big name battler that I've ever met has been like super humble and down to earth. Like fucking like all of them, like fucking Real Deal, fucking O'Shea, Tony D is one of the most humble cunts you could ever
Yeah,
meet, man. Like, he's,
for real.
like and it's weird like growing up watching these people or coming up watching these people. Then when you meet them, it's just like there's no like disconnect between the battlers and the fans. That's what I love about battle rap, because I've met a lot of people in the hip hop world who aren't even that big or that famous, who don't even have nearly the amount of views as a lot of these rappers that I just named have, but they'll like talk down on you like you're under them.
Right,
That happens so much because like
right.
that egotistical thing is so encouraged. But for some
Sure.
reason with battle rap, it's not like that. It's
Yeah.
there's more of a connection between the rappers and the fans. So like that's what I really love about it is the fact that, battle rappers don't. You'd expect battle rappers to be more egotistical, but most of the time we're not. Most of the time we're pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's, you get in enough scraps, right? It's like you were saying about MMA. It's like when you're really at the heart of an art form, the humility almost is a necessity in order to being
Yeah,
authentic.
100%.
Cool. Well put. Okay. So then, last question. What's up with like Mackenzie? You're talking about like organizing and doing all this stuff. I know you do music as well. Like, what
Mhm.
do you see? You know, riding off into the sunset. Is that battles on the horizon, or you really want to do music, focus on that, or you do everything, or what's Mackenzie up to? What's Mackenzie about?
So like that's the other string to my bow.
Sure.
Is that a saying? I don't know.
Whatever,
That's the
in your
other.
quiver.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. I said you watch
Singer.
there. Yeah. Is that I also do videography.
Oh, cool.
I've made films before. I made short films. I direct a lot of music videos.
Oh, dope.
And especially for Scottish hip hop artists, like if chances are, if you've seen a video for a Scottish hip hop artist, there's a 50% chance that I shot it.
Shit.
So like I really do that, and that's something that as I get older, I really want to focus more of my time on.
Hmm.
Like music and stuff. I think I've got one project as a solo artist left in me, and then I want to do just production for other artists.
Okay, cool.
Um, I think that's where I can shine and put together the full package, because you know you can always sort of tell when a project's being created and then someone's just shot just random visuals for whatever song they have, rather than someone sitting down and creating the concept with the music production and the visuals together. So it's
Yeah,
like a cohesive piece. So
yeah,
that's what I want to do more of, is creating those conceptual cohesive pieces that will really have like weight and artistic impact. That's ultimately what I'm going to try and push to do. And
fire.
battle wise, like after this one with Raptor, however that goes, I've definitely got a couple left in me for sure. But whatever I then go on to do, and we also mentioned martial arts before. Like I've been getting right back into that. Like I did that a lot as a kid,
Oh, wow.
but
Okay.
like when I got into my late teens, when I discovered drinking and partying and shit like that, I just stopped for a very very long time. So it isn't now that I'm in my early 30s that I'm getting back into it now. So that's another pursuit of mine and passion of mine that I'm probably going to pursue um, as I move forward. But this when I eventually do close the chapter on that part of my life, like I've already accomplished everything that I set out to do. Like initially, it was I just won a battle outside of Scotland, and I did that. And then it was I won a battle outside of the UK somewhere, doesn't matter where it is. Well, I battled in America 4 times, and then it's okay. I won a battle. Like a veteran, like a legend. Well, I've battled O'Shea, I've battled Pedro, like bunch of Matter, like
Sure.
like loads of
Never
them
made it
UK
back.
names. So the only thing left I have to do is battle a big name international.
Well, hey man, you
And
pay for my flight.
right, right. So basically, I just need to get my money up so I can do that, and then I'll leave happy.
Got one. Yeah,
Yeah,
amazing. Very dope. Very dope to see. And like the stuff that you're talking about with the videography, I think that's really the future of what we're doing. And
yeah.
just really
Yeah, like
speaks to me.
see, like shout out to Avocado because like the way that Avocado has made battle rap look, I think has been responsible for a lot of its appeal outside of the battle rap world. The
Totally.
way that he shoots and lights battles is fucking crazy,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's just elevated it to the point where it's like it's cinematic. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah, no,
Um,
it's super underrated, his contribution for real. And from a
yeah,
filmographer standpoint, you can really appreciate that,
yeah,
which is cool. Yeah. Yeah, no,
100%.
well, keep us in the loop. Obviously, everything that, you post and everything that you want to do, we can put on the subreddit. We got,
Yep.
half a million subscribers. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And yeah, and definitely we'll be on the lookout. You're not on Twitter. Well, you are on Twitter, but you're not really on Twitter. You're on
Yeah, well,
Instagram?
at Mackenzie Pro, if you want to fucking just see updates of whatever I've got going on. I'm on Instagram at Mackenzie Scottish Rap. That's my
There it
main
is.
shit.
Okay.
And yeah, at Iron Bars Battles, IRN BRZ every single time. Twitter, Instagram,
We'll put
Facebook, and
those in
all
the
that shit.
description below as well for everybody watching. We'll make sure that all
Thank you,
your
man.
links are there. Man, really dope to hear from you and get some insight into what's going on over there. Really excited for the event, and we'll definitely keep everybody up to date on everything that happens with that. It is Undisclosed 6, July 30th, about a month away, and it's going to be spectacular. That's Mackenzie. Remember, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Join the Discord link in the sidebar. And yeah, we will catch you next week with another episode. Bang, bang. All right. Peace.
Peace out.
Thanks for watching. This is the thanks for watching thing. And then I'm talking over it, but I mute myself eventually. I'm learning.